The gavel comes down. You hear it before you feel it. A single, clean sound that empties the entire room of air. And in the half second between that sound and the words that follow it, you think the strangest thing. You think about the smell of your mother's cooking on a Sunday morning. You don't know why. Your brain just goes there, like it is trying to save you from what is about to happen. It doesn't save you. Life imprisonment. No possibility of parole. The courtroom does not erupt. That is what they don't show you in films. There is no chaos, no screaming, no dramatic collapse. There is just a silence so complete it has weight. And then somewhere behind you, maybe 3 rows back, you hear your mother make a sound you have never heard her make before. It is not a scream, it is smaller than a scream. It is the sound of a person's hope leaving their body all at once. You do not turn around. You cannot turn around. If you see her face right now, you will not survive it. Your lawyer puts a hand on your arm. He says something. You watch his mouth move, but the words don't reach you. You are behind glass. You have been behind glass since the verdict came in, and everything on the other side of it, the judge, the jury, the fluorescent lights, the wood paneling, the court officer already moving toward you, all of it is happening to someone else. Someone who looks exactly like you and is wearing your clothes and is about to be taken somewhere you cannot come back from. Except it is you. It is completely and only you. They put the cuffs on in front of everyone. That is the part nobody prepares you for. Not the verdict, the cuffs. In front of your family. In front of the people who testified against you. In front of the journalists in the back row writing things down with their heads bowed like they are taking notes in church. The metal is cold and heavier than it should be, and the sound it makes when it closes, that small mechanical click, is the loudest thing you have ever heard in your life. You killed no one. You were not there. You said this in that room for 3 days, and the jury looked at you, and they listened, and they went away, and they decided that the version of events that put you in that room, the witness who misremembered, the detective who cut corners, the lawyer who didn't have enough time or money or fight left in him, that version was more convincing than the truth. The truth lost. That is what you cannot hold in your hands without dropping it. The truth was present in that courtroom, and it lost anyway. They walk you out through a side door. You get one look back, 1 second. Your father is sitting completely still with his hands folded in his lap. Your little brother has his face turned away. And your mother is looking directly at you, and her face is doing something you don't have a word for. It is not grief exactly. It is grief plus something fiercer. Something that says, I know, and I will not stop. You hold that. You carry that through the side door. The holding cell smells like bleach and old metal and the particular loneliness of rooms where people wait for things they don't want. You sit on a bench. There is another man on the other end of it. He doesn't look at you. You don't look at him. There is an unspoken etiquette to this, a protocol for how you share a space with someone when both of you have just had your lives dismantled. You think about the night they arrested you, how certain you were that it would be sorted, how your lawyer said the truth always comes out, how your mother said God does not sleep, how you believed all of it completely because you were innocent, and in your experience the world, while imperfect, did not do this. Did not take a person who did nothing and dismantle their entire life in front of 12 strangers. The world does this. You know that now. The world does this, and it will keep doing it long after your case is forgotten. You are transported in the late afternoon. The van has small, scratched windows, and through one of them you watch the city pass. A woman with a pram, a man eating from a paper bag, teenagers laughing at something on a phone. Every single one of them doing the most extraordinary thing imaginable, living their Tuesday, completely unaware that a van is passing carrying a man who did nothing and is going somewhere he will not leave for a very long time. You arrive as the sun is going down. That detail will stay with you forever. The sky was orange and gold, and the prison wall was gray, and the contrast between those two things was so sharp it felt deliberate. Like the world was saying, look at this beauty you are leaving behind. The first night is the worst, and also, in a way you don't expect, quietly necessary. Worst because it is real now, in a way the courtroom wasn't. The door closes and locks, and you are in a space the size of a bathroom. And the blanket smells like 100 strangers, and this is where your life happens now. But necessary because in the dark, alone, nobody watching, you are finally allowed to feel it. All of it. You don't have to hold your face still for the jury. You don't have to be strong for your mother. You press your back against the wall, and you let the wave come. The grief, the rage, the absolute howling injustice of it. And when it passes, you are still there. You are still there. That is the first thing you learn about survival. The wave passes through, and you remain. That is enough for tonight. Not hope, not peace, just the fact of your own survival, small and stubborn, refusing to dissolve. The weeks build into months. The months become indistinguishable and completely different at the same time. You learn the rhythms of the place, when to be invisible, when to be present, when to speak, and when silence is the only thing that keeps you safe. You learn which officers are fair and which ones aren't. You learn that hope carried in large quantities is too heavy. It exhausts you. But a small amount, kept quietly in a place nobody can reach, is what keeps you standing. Your mother writes every week without fail. Every single week, a letter arrives in her handwriting, and you read it until the paper goes soft at the folds. She tells you about the house, your brother, the lawyer she found who is looking at the case again, the woman from the church who is helping with the campaign. She never says if. She only ever says when. When they overturn it. When you come home. When this is finished. You hold her when. You carry it through every day that looks the same as the last one. Everything else in here has weight. The time, the silence, the slow awareness of your life continuing outside these walls without you. But her when is weightless. You can carry it without tiring. You carry it because there is nothing else that asks so little and gives so much. There is a window in the exercise yard that faces west. On certain evenings, when the light falls at the right angle, it catches the wall and turns it briefly, almost impossibly warm. You started standing near it without realizing. And then you started going there on purpose. And then you started telling yourself that the warmth on your face was not the sun hitting a prison wall, but just the sun. Just the sun, the same one that hits everything and everyone everywhere. The same one your mother stands under when she hangs the washing on a Saturday. And that thought, small and ordinary as it is, has kept you alive on more days than you will ever admit to anyone. There is a man 3 cells down who has been here for 22 years. He did not do it either. You know this not because he told you, he rarely speaks, but because of the way he carries himself. There is a particular kind of stillness that belongs to people who have made peace with something enormous. He has it. You watch him and you think, that is what survival looks like after it has had time to settle. Quiet, undefeated, still standing after everything the world threw at it. You want to get there. You decide, in the exercise yard, standing in that patch of warm light, that getting there is the only thing worth deciding. Not exoneration, you cannot control that. Not the public knowing your name, you cannot control that either. Only this, the decision to remain yourself inside a place designed to make you forget who that is. Years later, and there will be years, more than you can hold in your mind right now on this first night, someone will ask you how you survived it. They will want a clean answer, a lesson, something quotable, something that makes the suffering feel like it had a shape that could be understood and filed away neatly. You will think about your mother's letters going soft at the folds. You will think about the orange sky on the night you arrived. You will think about that first night when the wave moved through you, and you were still there after. You will think about a patch of warm light on a gray wall in a yard where nothing was supposed to be beautiful. You will think about a man 3 cells down who never stopped standing. And you will think about the thing nobody who hasn't been through it can ever fully understand. That surviving wrongful imprisonment is not about strength in the way people imagine it. It is not about being harder than the walls, or louder than the silence, or braver than the fear. It is about finding one true thing and refusing to let go of it. For you, it was your mother's handwriting on an envelope that arrived every single week without fail. That was the true thing. That was the thread. You held it and it held you, and between the two of you, you made it through. You will look at them and you will say, I just refused to let the wrong story be the last one. That's all. You refused.